Tangled, start. Recording? Start. Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another interesting session. Do you know what today's session is all about? Not the theme, but what the entire intention of this session. Any idea? Members, any idea what we are having today? We are having a speech marathon and especially an icebreaker marathon. So isn't it interesting? We have 5 interesting speakers who are going to deliver their first speech, bearing all the fears, all the reluctance that they have had. I think they are now overcoming it while coming on the stage. So big round of applause to all the speakers who will be coming upon stage. So because today we are having a marathon, and today in the morning also there was TCS marathon. So why not have a little bit of marathon here? Want to experiment? Yeah. Okay, so I request everyone to stand up in your place. You'll have to follow me. Okay, so now let me give you a guidance. So I'll have instructions like 10 seconds you have to run at the same place. Then 10 seconds probably play basketball in the same place, dribble, and we'll keep experimenting as we go. For 30 seconds, we'll all have to be active. You have to imagine that you are starting right now, and in the end, we have to reach the finishing line. Okay? And everyone is with me. As I say, you have to follow. Right? Great. So we start with jogging. So 1, 2, 3, start. We are jogging, we are jogging, we are jogging. Anyone who feels like marathon? No. Okay. Now we have crossed the first milestone. Let's go on the dribbling course. Let's dribble. Let's dribble. And 3-point shoot. 1, 2, 3. Shoot. 1, 2, 3. Another shoot. Yes. Come back to dribbling. Okay. Now we are at a point where we see a hill steep. It's a mountain. We have to climb the mountain also. So we have to climb like this. So let's climb. Let's climb. Let's climb. Let's climb. We should. I hope it's not too steep, but all of you are climbing. Yes. And now we have reached the top of the mountain. All the people who went on trek. Now imagine the scene that you saw in the morning. We seen the sunrise. And with that, it's time to rest. We can take our seats. So, did you all wake up? Yes. All your Sunday lunch or brunch got digested? Yes. Yes. Okay. Cool. So those guests who are wondering why are we having marathons and why are we running? We are doing some crazy stuffs. So welcome to Toastmasters. And Toastmasters is a fraternity where we practice public speaking, impromptu speeches. People take up roles, get feedbacks, and develop upon their leadership and communication skills. How do we do that? We have almost 270,000 clubs across the world, and we are present in 148 countries. And it was founded in 1924 by Ralph C. Medley. So he realized that, we need to encourage each one of, like, even in marathons also, you need to shout out for the member who is there participating. People did not have confidence to do that. So somewhere he realized that raising toast or participating in marathon, you need to openly speak up. And that's how Toastmaster was founded. And then came in Bright Hearts. So Bright Hearts is one such beautiful chapter where all together we take up roles, we practice, and we have a bunch of mentors who mentors all the mentees over here so that they can ace their public speaking skills. Now, my name is Debsha and I'm the Sergeant at Arms, and my responsibility is to open the meeting. And how will I open the meeting? By setting a few ground rules. So ground rule number 1 is that I'll give you 5 seconds. You have to switch off your mobile phone or put it in silent mode. Why? Because our speakers will be speaking here. We do not want to disturb when they are here and speaking. So after the speech segment, we'll have a small break. So during that, snacks and refreshments will be served. So hold your hunger pangs till that. But otherwise, we have water dispenser here and the washroom is behind that. We usually avoid some of the difficult or controversial topics like sex, religions, and politics. So if you are speaking about it, please be careful or utterly avoid it. With that, in order to start the marathon, we have the organizer of the marathon. Yes, our club is having the main important person who plans all the marathons in the club along with the VP education. He is also Triple Crown winner, area director of IO3, and is the presiding officer for today's meeting. Personally, he loves table tennis, and if you ask for marathon, you need a lot of patience and a lot of energy, and you name it, he has it. So without much ado, inviting the presider officer for today, President Mani Kumar. A big round of applause.
Thank you so much for that lovely energy and the chair. And thank you so much to our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Debshah, for making us to climb the hill and play basketball over there and conduct our Bright Hearts meeting at that hilltop. I'm really feeling that we are all having the celebration of this Bright Hearts meeting over the hilltop. Do you all agree?
Yes.
Yes. So with the same Josh, today we are going to conduct our one more memorable meeting of meeting 78. There are many specials in that. Before I reveal about that meeting special of today's agenda, I would love to introduce the Bright Hearts Toastmasters to all the special guests we are having in this room. We Bright Hearts started in the year of September 2024. From then onwards, we are meeting and making our each and every Sunday bright. As you're seeing all the bright hearts, the bright faces in this room, who are all geared up and powered up to make their communication journey to be even more confident and improved. Today, we all see a Toastmasters club. We all coming from a corporate background. May I see a raise of hands? How many from corporate? It's almost houseful. How many of you have KRS, PMS, appraisal focus meeting, KPIs, or in some organizations? So likewise, in Toastmasters International, there is a concept which is called as DCP points, the Distinguished Club Program points, which is a measuring factor of how a club progressing, how a club conducting their meetings, the education pathways, the members' interactions. That is where the measured factor is about winning 10 out of 10 DCP points. I'm so happy to share this good news that we are officially Smedley Distinguished Club. This is one of the grand celebration for all of us. Why? Because we are the top two among District 121 to achieve this medley status. And you will get to know more about this during our district conference, the Crescendo meeting. Any of the new members, new guests want to know about Crescendo, you can easily reach to our Bright Hearts members or our executive committee members. They will help you understand what is our Crescendo conference, which is happening in the month of May. Today, some of the guests were asking, last week they missed about this venue meeting. It all happened because we conducted a celebration or a Division I conference where all the speakers, the champions of different areas came to the single division stage and presented all their fired speeches. You know what? What magic Bright Hearts did? Our Bright Hearts, our club champion, Toastmaster Akshay has swept and washed out all the 4 contests and made our Bright Hearts so proud. So many congratulations to your champion who is attending online, and also wishing all the best for him at the Crescendo during May 8th, 9th, 10th of the Crescendo District Conference. Before we move ahead, how about I see today many bright guests in the room. May I request you volunteer basis, come on stage, share your name, how you got to know about Bright Hearts, and what are you looking in today's meeting? Who wants to go first? Yes, please. Can hold.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Toastmaster Shantanu. I'm a member of ICG Toastmasters Club Goa. I'm doing my MBA currently, so I've come for my summer internship to Bangalore. I've been a Toastmaster for the past 5 years, and I've been the Vice President Education of my club, participated in contests. And I have Toastmasters in my blood because my father's a DTM. So there's a lot of, yeah. So so it started with him attending clubs outside Goa, outside different parts. So even now the disease has come to me. So very excited to be part of Bright Heart, to be attend the meeting of Bright Hearts Toastmasters. So let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Wonderful. Glad to hear about it, Toastmaster Shantanu, and welcome to the Bright Hearts Toastmasters Club. Yes, as we move forward, we will be getting to know and hear about more guests soon. Before that, today we have a special segment. How many of you seen the agenda? Any idea what is coming up? Yes. Why don't you shout out? Yes, Umil. Yes, we have induction and icebreaker. So firstly, which is starting with the letter I, we have the induction ceremony for all the new members who joined in the month of April. To conduct this segment, we have a very special Toastmaster. He is very committed to whatever things assigned with. He always comes up with plan A, plan B, plan C, with a lot of things and does his job fantastic. Put your hands together to lead this induction ceremony segment, the Vice President Membership Toastmaster Priyansh.
Good evening, everyone. We'll be having an induction ceremony of 4 new members. I'll start now. Fellow Toastmasters, it is now our duty and privilege to induct 4 new members into Bright Hearts Toastmasters. This is an important occasion, both for these new members and for our club. These individuals have came to Toastmaster seeking to improve their communication and leadership skills. And we now have an opportunity to help them learn, grow, and achieve their goals. I will now call up on our new members. Please withhold your applause until the ceremony is completed. Our first member, she is a tech analyst at HSBC who enjoys novel and is a huge fan of TV show Friends. She joined Bright Hearts Toastmaster to sharpen her communication confidence and clarity while connecting with club's vibrant energy. Please help me welcome Pragya. One member, huh? Now, the second member, a seasoned software engineer working on AI, who is pursuing law and a master in data science simultaneously. He joined Bright Hearts Toastmaster to strengthen his communication skills, grow as a leader, and express his ideas with greater confidence and impact. Please help me welcome Dharmendra Kumar Nayak. Now, the third member, he is a HR at Bhanzu who enjoys mentoring people, playing sports, and reading management books. He joined Bright Heart Toastmaster to become a more engaging speaker, a stronger leader, and build meaningful professional connection. Please help me welcome Shashank Jami. Now, a fourth member, he is a software developer at EXL and a graduate of IIT Bhubaneswar who transitioned from civil engineering to tech. He enjoys reading novels, hitting the gym, and exploring places. He joins Bright Heart Toastmaster to master impromptu speaking and express his thought confidently on the spot. Please help me welcome Ravikant Pala. Dear members, you are joining a worldwide organization that has helped millions of people to learn to communicate more effectively. As a member of Bright Heart Toastmaster Club, you will benefit from a proven program of self-development. You will become a part of outstanding group of people who are dedicated to helping one another in a spirit of sharing and enjoyment. Mr. Vice President Education, have these new members been given an opportunity to discuss their needs and goal with the club? Have they been told how Toastmaster program works and informed many benefits they will receive, as well as obligation of membership? Thank you. Mr. Vice President, who has been assigned the mentors of these new members? Okay, thank you. I'll request all the mentors to stand. As experienced Toastmaster, you have been asked to help these members get off to a good start. Do you accept this responsibility and pledge to share your knowledge and experience with our new members so that they can immediately begin to benefit from Toastmaster membership? Membership in this club and in Toastmaster International is a privilege that carries with it many rewards, yet it also places certain obligation upon you. We are a group of people brought together to do things we could not accomplish alone. Our collective obligation is to grow and improve ourselves and to share our knowledge and experience with fellow members in a spirit of enjoyment. This means you must work diligently towards your own self-development, evaluate others' speeches in a spirit of support and sharing, assist the club in reaching the goals, and remain positive. We ask our new members to dedicate yourself to personal growth, to share the great gift with your fellow Toastmasters, with your fellow members, and to help this Toastmaster club strong and dynamic. Now I will repeat, please repeat after me while I say a few of the lines. I like say the name after I say. I, in the presence of my fellow members of the Bright Hearts Toastmaster Club, make this firm obligation to attend meeting regularly and prepare fully for each assignment, to apply myself to project outlined in the Toastmasters education program, to participate actively in club activities, to evaluate others in a positive, constructive manner, to build open, friendly relationship with my fellow members, and to bring other new members into the club so that they can also gain benefits of Toastmaster. I would request all the club members to please stand now. Only the members, guests can sit down. Yeah, thank you. We the members of Bright Hearts Toastmaster Club pledge to support you in your quest for self-development, to provide you with positive, helpful evaluations, to maintain a friendly, supportive atmosphere, to give you opportunities to help others, and to make your Toastmaster membership a rewarding and fulfilling experience. Now all the members can sit down. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to family, Ravikant, Pragya, Dharmendra, Shashank. Now you may now please take your seats. Now I will hand over the stage back to our presiding officer, Mani Kumar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priyansh, and my heartful wishes to all the members who just pledged and to make this memorable, to make this journey a very memorable one. Moving forward, now I would like to declare our meeting number 78 as open. Today, meeting number 78, the theme is Tangled. In our regular lives, we always tangle a lot. That too, when it comes to me, I tangle a lot, whether it may be while walking to my office, while conducting to my job tasks. Today, I'm looking forward to this session very eagerly, where our Toastmaster of the day planned a very wonderful and beautiful tips how to map it out, how to map it better, how we can encounter those tangles and come out of it with all the methods possible. For that, we have a special Toastmaster who is always persuasive when he comes on stage. He's super active, super energy, and super confident. Whenever he takes the stage, he sets it on fire. Put your hands together in welcoming our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Pranav. Pranav, 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 Pranav.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. So while our presiding officer already introduced about the theme, Tangled, what comes to your brain when you hear this word tangled? Chaos, wires, confusion, movies, maybe which movie? Okay. So we are going to get tangled today. Don't worry, that's the theme. And by the end of this meeting, you will learn some tips and tricks how to get yourself untangled and manage those chaos in your brain. Those moments when you felt your brain was a bowl of spaghetti or noodles with several wires inside it, lot of ideas, lot of connections, and you are not able to figure out what's the starting point and what's the end point. How many of us felt like that in some situations? So we are going to bring all that chaos to a shape today by some techniques and tools. Here is the meeting agenda. So we have already opened the theme and induced our new speakers. What we will do next is we will have the icebreakers one by one by the speakers, the 5 speakers lined up for the session, followed by activity which I am calling as whole brain thinking, which is your left brain and right brain. And then it carries with other speeches. And then we do a one small, very quick another activity, which is around mind mapping, which is a very famous technique around handling problems. And then eventually we will break, and then we will have our evaluation section, and then that calls the meeting for the day. So now I would like to hand over the stage to someone who is helping us taking notes of the time being used by everyone, every speaker, every evaluator, including me. So this person is someone who actually faced a tangled situation before. And when I asked him, can you describe that situation little to me? He said that he had 4 dogs and he used to walk them together while doing his morning walks. One fine day, while doing his natural walk, he saw 4 ducks ahead. And out of his normal instinct, he thought, ducks will go and chase those ducks. What came to his surprise is that dogs took a U-turn and started running back. And while all that chaos, one dog actually came under his leg. So that was the chaos. That was a chaotic moment for him, which felt him like untangled. So with that, I would like to hand over the stage to our timer, Shankar. So So give a huge round of applause to Chankar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. For today's theme, that's Tangled, let's map it out. I'm your official timekeeper. And as I'd like to think of it, I am the guy who's holding the map and guiding you across this tangled, vast wilderness of, speaking, right? So we don't have any prepared speeches or table topics for the day. It's the icebreaker marathon today. So to my young, intrepid adventurers of Toastmasters here, I commend your courage and I wish you all the best as you embark on your journey with bright hearts. Now, you'll be given 4 to 6 minutes to speak. And at the 4-minute marker, I will hold the green card up. That means you're well on your way on your first journey. Congratulations. At the 5-minute marker, I will hold out the yellow card. So seems like you're doing a little bit of sightseeing. Nice. And at the 6-minute marker, I will hold out the red card. And I'll continue to hold it until you conclude. Looks like you're a little lost. Get back to base camp, right? For the evaluators, now they'll have 2 to 3 minutes to speak. And at the 2-minute marker, I will hold out the green card. That's some solid direction you're giving. At 2 minutes and 30 seconds, I will hold out the yellow card. Seems like you're taking an alternative route and finding your island to the ums and the ahs. Nicely done. And at the 3-minute marker, I'm going to be holding out the red card until you conclude. Seems like you've come across a storm, abandon ship, and get back to shore. Now, I'll be tracking the exact times and letting you know at the end of the session, those of you who took my clues, got your directions right, and landed up at your destination on time, and those that took a scenic detour. So with that, I'll pass it back to Toastmaster Pranav. Thank you.
So now we would start our speech marathon. That's our agenda for today. And that's what we are looking forward to hear from our icebreakers and our newly inducted members. So it's our custom at Bright Hearts to give standing ovation whenever an icebreaker speech gets completed. So my request to everyone is that as soon as the speaker moves out of the stage, you give a standing ovation. I can understand there are 5 icebreakers, so you need to give 5 standing ovations, but that's the custom, guys. And that actually our speakers deserve that. So before calling my next speaker, let me call the evaluator, who's Somil Ji, who is evaluating this icebreaker given by Pragya. So Somil, can you come to the stage for a quick objective of the speech?
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and dear guests.
Good evening.
I will start with a small story. So this year, I decided that I will read at least 6 books because I don't have a habit of reading. So I decided that I will read 6 books. But at the same time, I was also facing difficulty in sleeping because my sleep cycle is really messed up. So recently I started reading books and I realized that I can now sleep well. Okay. But I would like to add one thing. Till now, I have completed 2 books. Third one is on the way. And thank you. And I have been very consistent about it, right? And I have realized that no matter, I just have to read a few pages or complete a chapter. But if you're consistent enough, then you can achieve your goals. Everyone in our life, everyone tries to improve, right? We all try to become a better person. And the journey of becoming a better person starts by taking a leap of faith. Leap of faith, which means you gather the courage and you just do it without knowing what is going to happen in the future. Today, my target speaker, Pragya, is going to take that leap of faith and she's going to do her icebreaker speech, which is the beginning of her journey to become a better public speaker. So all the very best to my target speaker, Pragya, and looking forward to hear your story. Thank you.
When I asked Pragya what do you do when you feel tangled? Her answer was super simple. Whenever I feel very difficult situation or whenever I feel too much under pressure, I do one simple thing. I take a nap. So with that, asking Pragya to come over the stage for her icebreaker. Pragya, please. Pragya, back to my first love. Back to my first love, Pragya.
In a rainy night, amidst thunderstorm, God decided to send me on this beautiful beautiful globe called Earth. He has chosen a family for me without my consent. He has also chosen a country, a state, city, all by his own without asking me, and told me all human beings follow the same. This is called nature's rule. Good evening, fellow human beings.
Good evening.
Here, followed by God's plan, I reached to a small town in Madhya Pradesh called Jabalpur. Two very kind people decided my name Pragya. When I turned 4, I was sent to a local school. I was decent with studies, but I really enjoy extracurricular activities, especially speaking. In the 4th grade, I went on stage for the first time, and I fell in love for the first time in my life with stage. I performed a poem on Republic Day, and from that day till my 9th grade, I have keep on performing speaking competition, taking parts into different speeches, and also performed several hosting events in my school. And I used to enjoy it a lot. But then came the 10th grade. Pressure was high. Hopes were high. Everyone was expecting a lot from me. And I too was expecting a lot from myself. This was also the year when I fell in love for the second time with maths. I was consistently scoring 99 or 100 out of 100. I put everything aside for my studies. And when the result came out, it felt it was worth it. I was among one of the state topper that year. I received Chancellor Award and also a good scholarship. Then eventually, knowingly or unknowingly, I became part of rat race, solving monkey pulley problems from H.C. Verma. And honestly, I never cared whether monkey fails or dies. My only goal was to get a college where there is no dress code and which should be far away from my hometown. So in 2014, I packed my bag and reached to one of the very developed city in Madhya Pradesh called Indore. I joined a BTech college. I met many amazing people who are now essential part of my life. I joined few committees. I studied 40 plus subjects in 4 years. And today I remember none of them. But I cherish all the beautiful memories from my hostel and college life. After 4 years, this was time to pay my bills by my own. So I joined the first company that decided to hire me. Once the training was over, my project location was Mysore. Again, without my consent. When all my friends were doing late night parties in metro cities, all I enjoyed calm weather in Mysore. I was doing something regarding testing. I do not want to discuss that. I didn't enjoy my work. There was no friends around me. And the PG food was torture. There was only one good thing. I used to go in library, read, write, And there I came to know about this wonderful club called Toastmasters. With very less motivation, I pushed myself for one of the meetings. And when I went on stage, I found that lost ninth grade Pragya back. That joy. I realized there is one thing I really enjoys. One thing that scares me but excites me at the same time. That is being on stage. In that same year, I developed some interest in coding and web development. Next year, I left my job and in 2021, I went for masters. I again met amazing people, joined few committees. This time I studied 15 plus subjects, but I remember few of them. I use few of them in my work today. I also met one incredible man, Nikunj, who is now my husband. Then once the masters was over, I came back to corporate and I was having good work-life balance, having tasty homemade food. I was around my friends, but something was missing and I knew what it was. So I started exploring different clubs. And one fine day, I messaged Akshay, can I attend a meeting in Bright Hearts Toastmaster? That's how I reached here, on this stage, back to my first love. Enjoying that ninth grade lost joy once again. And this time, everything is happening with my consent, with my permission. Thank you. Over to you.
Thanks, Pragya. Monkey falling or monkey remaining on that branch, even I didn't know while solving for the physics problem. And I totally relate to the concepts that you learned that you are not able to recollect now. Great walking us through with that journey. Now with that, folks, are you ready for some fun activity?
Yes.
Yes. So we are going to simulate our whole brain by doing a small activity called whole brain thinking. Now, all of us know that we have two parts or two departments within our brain, the left brain and the right brain. Let's talk about that. How many of us experienced solving a problem logically, but arrived at a wrong answer? On show of hands. Now, keep your hands up if you also came up with brilliant creative ideas and didn't know how to implement it. Wow, pretty much resonates. So, a logical thinking, as much important it is to solve a problem, so is creative thinking, because that's what derives the solutions. So let's think about the left and the right brain as Larry and Rita. Okay, Larry, L for Larry, R for Rita. Now, Larry loves logic. Larry loves logic. She's left brain. She's actually an inner accountant, chartered accountant. She plays by rules, everything step by step. She goes to the cause, effect, root cause analysis. And on the other hand, Rita is an inner artist. Actually, Rita loves patterns. She loves colors. She loves drawing. And actually, she thinks big picture. She's not sure how to implement that, but she thinks moonshot. She thinks big picture. And that's when only Larry, if is solving a problem, which sounds technically correct, like a company's balance sheet, but would it eventually arrive at a good solution? Probably not. And so is the case if Rita comes with a Spotify playlist of all her favorite songs, but Larry wanted a finite plan and a deliverable ETA, how would it help? So that's where the argument between Larry and Rita comes. And Larry shouts, Rita, I didn't want you to create a Spotify playlist. I want a full-fledged plan of the project I want to deliver with the right timelines. But friends, here is the beauty. When both these departments come together, magic happens. And that's what we are going to simulate by a quick activity today. All of us are ready? Have you brought your props, or for that matter, any kind of thing which you can easily wear or take it out, which kind of personifies that you are logically thinking? For those who have not, I have some props for you too. But for who you, so when you wear these hats, think yourself that you are thinking creative. And when you remove those, think that you are thinking logically. Very simple, right? So people who don't have those props, feel free to distribute among yourselves. Next slide. Next. So the activity is super simple, folks. Now, most of us are in their creative mode because I can see your props. But when you remove it off, you becomes logical thinker, right? So I'm going to throw out few questions to you. Think it first creatively and then later logically on my command. Ready? So your first question is, how do I eat the last mango in the refrigerator without anyone at home finding out? How do I eat the last mango in the refrigerator without anyone in the family finding it out? I'll give you 10 seconds. Just think over it. Think creative, think big picture, think colors. Your time is up. May I have few volunteers who would like to throw some ideas? Go ahead.
I will send my wife and kid away.
I'll eat and I'll hide the evidence in someone else's room.
Wow. Pragya?
Eat it and then wrap it with something else just like skin and put it in the
Wonderful. Go ahead, Pooja.
Go to sleep.
Cool. Now I would like you to take off your prop and think logically now. Now imagine that despite you did all of that, maybe your spouse, your father, or someone at the family figured it out that you were the culprit. Now think logically and tell me how would you justify that you didn't it? I'll again give you 10 seconds. Think about numbers, think about maybe ETAs, think about calculations. Time is up. Any volunteers? Go ahead, Saij.
I would say the mango was rotten, so I had to throw it out.
That's, I'm not sure whether logical, but yeah, sounds logical. Actually, it was rotten. Yeah, so root cause. Yes, yes, actually. Go ahead.
I've seen my younger brother eating, so I am sure that he ate that.
Wow, again, a root and a cause. Wow. Go ahead, Jurmin. And what if your spouse asks, okay, what was your sugar level?
I was just picking up something. I was picking it was from somewhere and I think it's
Interesting, interesting. Anyone else would like to take a chance?
I would say
Wow. Interesting. So you like the both the you now just now activated both parts of your brain. Now with that quick fun activity, let's progress towards the next speech for the day. Now this person, before let me introduce the evaluator for this speaker. Jurmin, can you come over the stage and talk us about the speech objective?
Hello, everyone. Hello, good evening, Toastmaster. Pranam couldn't introduce me because I didn't submit the answer. As you see how disciplined I am, so let me only introduce myself. When he asked me what is a challenging thing you think it's Tangled, for me, I have among many challenges like OCD, introvert, and so many things, I have dyslexia, selective dyslexia. I see numbers in reverse order. To face that problem, I did the best solution by joining the financial sector. Now it is not my problem, it's the client problem. And I do remember I literally gave heart attack to quite a few of my clients when they were trading like 81 million one time. And they, end of the day, they asked me to confirm the trading. And I said, yeah, your balance is 18 million. Jimmy, can you check? I can see it right in front of me. It is 18 million. 18, we did almost like 100. 100. That's what I told, right? 18. I was like, how 18 is close to 100? 81. Do you mean that's 18 you are saying me, not 81? So this is how I combat my challenge with this number disorder. Okay, coming back to introduce my target speaker. I today have the opportunity to evaluate my target speaker, Shamil. And as you know, Icebreaker is the first speech and it's very special. For me also, it is very special because I am the first time evaluator now. So for both of us, it's very special. So today my target speaker will be delivering Project 1, Level 1, Icebreaker. All the best to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Jurmin. Now, a few words about the next speaker. When I asked him, tell me about a situation when you got some chaos in your life and how did you manage with it? He had a very brilliant story. So he, along with his friends, decided to visit Pondicherry and they rented out a very good car. But what eventually happened was on the way to Pondicherry. And by the way, guys, this was 2nd of October. And I'm not sure why they decide to visit Pondicherry on a dry day like 2nd of October. But that question aside, when their car broke down, they actually started figuring out how to fix it. Natural. And Pondicherry weather at this climate, very hot, extremely hot. But what did they do creatively? They actually rented a scooter. So there were 4 friends. So they rented out 2 scooters. They roamed around Pondicherry. They enjoyed Pondicherry. They also figured out a mechanic whose garage was open on 2nd of October and eventually ended up also getting their car repaired and came back home to Bangalore safe. What a brilliant story. So with that, I would like to invite our next speaker for the icebreaker, Shamil K.
How many of you have a scar from the childhood that you still remember, not because of the pain, but because of the story behind it? I have one. Dear Toastmasters and guests, my name is Shamil. When I was 4 years old, I was living in a small village in Kerala. While kids at my age, they were playing outside, I was just sitting behind my brother, watching him play on the computer. I was not just watching. Actually, I was living inside the game. I was the most excited person in that room. And one day he was playing the final mission of that game. And my heartbeat was beating like with every keystroke on the keyboard. And finally, he won the game. I didn't just cheer up. I jumped. Tuck. Not only the excitement hit the roof, but my head also. There was blood. There were tears. My mother was not excited. It left a mark on my head. But somewhere along on the way, I realized it
left a mark on my story also. So that's how my story begins. Nobody taught me how to use computer. I just watched my brother do using the computer, and one day I sat down and started using it. I painted on MS Paint, tried Photoshop, played a lot of games. I tried to get games from wherever possible and spent hours playing them and played almost every game that I could get. But soon enough, playing games became stopped enough for me. I was curious how this actually worked. So I opened the game folder and started tweaking the files. And when I relaunch it, sometimes it fails, but sometimes I was actually see the changes that I made reflecting on the game. It was so thrilling moment. But I didn't stop there. I went a little more crazy. I started changing the cars, swapping the names, even modifying the missions. You know what? I even made my own version of GTA. I call it the GTA Kerala. So it was set on a Kerala base. So like that. And my friends loved it. When my cousin heard about it, he helped me to distribute the game for a small price. And like that, we felt like a company. We called it a very professional standard name, Expert PC Works. So that's how we made the company. We had a product, we had our customers, and we had absolutely no idea what we are doing. So anyway, but I knew at some point every company needs a website. I only knew that, but I don't know how to make one. I don't have a teacher. I don't have any class. I just have a very slow internet. So I did what I could do. I just tried. I tried some free online tools, but nothing felt right for me. And at some point, I found this magic from the rabbit hole, and it's called coding. So I was just 13 at that time. I decided, okay, I will just try this. So like that, I made things, I broke things, and I fixed them. And gradually, I started learning how to code. I and after some point, the company didn't go long, but the programmer inside me started growing. With this much enthusiasm for computers, it was obvious choice for me. I went for college for computer science and engineering. I didn't have to made a second thought there. And on the way, I got a lot of opportunities. Like I joined tech competitions, I got freelance works, and each one giving me new challenges that I never encountered before. And gradually, I became better and better at building software products. Then after college, when my career started, I decided to start my career with startups because of two things. One, I love building products from scratch. Also, I wanted to be a big part of a small company rather than being a small part of a big company. Now, from the kid who stared at the magic of computers, now the journey has reached in a startup in Bangalore where I get to build that magic. When I look behind, I clearly see this pattern. Whenever I wanted to learn something, I never wait till I learn that. I just jump in and do that. And I believe that's why I reached Toastmasters also. And I want to get better at communication. And I believe here I will learn that on the go along with you, dear bright hearts. Thank you.
That was an amazing speech, Shamil. Nobody felt like it was actually an icebreaker. And I actually recollected last time when I jumped like this, I actually broke my leg. So with that, let's proceed further and talk about a mini tool called first principles thinking. How many of you have heard about this on a show of hands? So this is a technique actually was invented by an inventor called Aristotle. And as the name suggests, for solving any particular problem, it asks for going into the first principles. Imagine yourself like a kid, a 10-year kid, a 5-year-old kid. And if you throw a problem at him, he would like to ask very innocent question. Okay, Papa, why am I doing it? Why am I doing it in the first place? What's the goal, what we are trying to achieve? And often we, after so many degrees, engineers, managers, we kind of actually struggle us on answering that simple question. And more often than not, when you answer yourself those simple questions, the solution lies underneath. Even in product management, people talk about first think from a customer standpoint. What is the pain point you are solving for? Then think creative and start solving for that particular problem. So that's a mini tool for problem solving. Now with that, let's progress to the next speech. Now, when I asked this speaker about how did he manage his problem last time, he had again a very funny story behind it. But before actually talking about that story, let me first call the evaluator of that particular speech, who is Sangam Ramola.
Hello, Bright Arts.
Hello.
So before we start, what is the format of today's meeting? Marathon, correct. So today I got a chance to participate in TCS Marathon. So this is the second time I participated, and this time not as a participant, but as a buddy. So I was a buddy for person with disabilities, and I was responsible for helping them to reach the finish lines. Just like every bright hearts did help each other in reaching their personal and professional goals. So one thing I learned during this experience, and that one thing is that most of the time we think I am not good, I have this problem, I have these challenges. But when I was looking at those people, they have actual real problems. Some people are not able to see, some are not able to hear, and some are not able to walk. And they have so much of enthusiasm and zeal to live their life. And this is the message I took from this experience. So today, so today is a icebreaker marathon, and my target speaker is Shashank. So icebreaker speeches are always very special. Why? Because this gives us a chance to come and tell about ourselves to the audience and create more familiarity. So as Shashank, this is your first icebreaker. This is for first icebreaker for me as well in terms of evaluation. So it's been 6 months and I've been dreading to evaluate a person. I was always avoiding. Sayuj kept asking me multiple times, but this time I took it up as a challenge. So pardon me if I go wrong somewhere else. So I am really looking forward to your speech. Over to you, TMOD of the day.
Thanks, Sangam. So before calling out the next speaker, let me talk about that story. When I asked him when was the last time he faced such a tangled situation, he said that he faced that situation while he was deciding the next step in his career. His engineering or the engineering degree said that, beta, you go straight, you do whatever you are doing. His banking profession, where he wanted to go, and from that perspective, that said that you turn left. It's something ended up like a Google map navigation when you put a destination and gives you the navigation steps. And when he thought whether should he do MBA, his right side of the brain talked that I am recalculating. And with that, eventually, he ended up giving an interview. And what happens after the interview is that the HR of that company said, you have arrived, just like you hear in the Google Maps. So with that, let me invite the next speaker, Shashank J. Patience, practice, progress. Shashank J. Shashank J. Patience, practice, progress.
Thank you. So, good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. My name is Sashank, and it means moon. Unlike the moon, which shines quietly, today I am going to attempt something less quiet, public speaking. I was born on the 6th of October in Rajahmundry, a beautiful town in Andhra Pradesh on the banks of River Godavari. I come from a family of teachers, and I had two strong influences while growing up. One, my mother, who loved sports and encouraged me to compete in the sports and participated. My father, who is disciplined and asked me to focus on the academics piece of it. So I grew up slightly entangled between two voices. While one voice said run faster, the other said study harder. So that's how my childhood has been. During childhood school days, I have always been that first bench student, straight A's, no mischief, nothing, actively participating in sports and all. Mainly because my mother worked as a maths teacher in the same school where I studied. You can imagine, if your mother is a teacher in your school, whatever mischief happens, travels faster to the staff room during the lunch. So that's what it is. But however, my school, just to give you a context, is surrounded with full of apartment buildings, filled with mango trees. Usually, the kids during summers, being mischievous, they pelt stone at the trees to get the mangoes and all. So one day, I decided to rebel. Why should they have all the fun? So I joined them. Little did I know, I choose a very wrong day to be on that, because the landlord of that building where these folks were pelting stones was waiting behind that door just to catch hold of these kids who has been doing mischiefs for all this while. Just when I went there with my friends, when I was about to pick up a stone and pelt it, a lady came running towards us, shouting at us. We though ran away in fear, immediately jumped the wall of the school and sprinted into the school. The downside of being the well-known kid in the school, especially being a teacher's kid, is that among the group of kids who went to do this mischief, I was the only one who she instantly recognized and caught hold of me. That's the end of story there. That was the first and last mischief I have done in my school life. You can imagine the aftermath of it, what would have happened, my mother being teacher in the same school and all. So that's how it went. First of all, how many of you have seen the Three Idiots movie? Can you give me a raise of hands? Yeah. So you remember the scene, right, where the Madhavan was born, his father says, Mera beta Farhan banega engineer. Just like, in Rancho's words, as they say, ladka hua tha engineer, ladki hui tha doctor. Just like typical any Indian middle class family, I took MPC after my schooling and went on to become an engineer. So I completed my engineering and, got placed in TCS. After TCS, the first 2 months of the training, which happened at Gandhinagar, Gujarat, were unforgettable. Those were the best days of my life. So every weekend used to be like a, a thrilling journey, I would say. The trips to Jaisalmer, experiencing the sunset and sunrise, in the desert, camel rides, parasailing at the U, and a lot more things. After that, I got deployed to Hyderabad, wherein, I worked in a project for over a year. That's when I realized something important. Engineering was my graduation, but it was not my destination. Because even during my MBA days, I had engineering days, I had an aspiration to do an MBA. So that's when, I realized the phase started wherein, the patience and practice, the phase of my life. You can imagine my daily routine, juggling between a full-time job and a, intense project Monday to Friday, and, working for this, preparing for this competitive exams over the weekends. So, it was intense, I would say. Even in that, while my friends were relaxing, I was, preparing over the weekends. While they were, having fun, I was solving mock tests. That's when, slowly efforts turn into habits. Habits turn into, the consistent efforts that you put in, which turns into progress. That's how, it came to where I am today now. I'm working as an associate director HR at an edtech startup. So if I look back and have to sum up my life in 3 words, I would say patience, patiently waiting for the right opportunities, practice, consistently putting in efforts to improve yourself, progress, to grow in becoming the best version of yourselves every single day. Exactly, that's what brought me into, I have been patient enough to find a bright club, which is the right club for me, to consistently improve my public speaking leadership skills. That's my story, my friends, from a first bench student to an engineer to HR to a Toastmaster. Thank you.
Shashank, what a great speech. I can totally relate that that dilemma what every one of us face whenever we need to take any decision, for that matter, career decision. And in your case, again, I am with you. I also felt something similar when I was deciding to do my MBA or while I was working. So, great speech. Now, with that, let's progress further and talk about, again, a very simple tool which helps in our problem solving. How many of us are aware about urgency versus importance matrix? So it is a very simple matrix. Whenever you actually end up with a lot of work to do's at your place, at your studies or wherever, you need to actually list them down, all your to do's, without thinking anything, whatever comes to your mind. And then for each of those lists, you need to classify whether that activity is actually urgent as well as important. What I also personally do myself is along with those activities classification as urgent or important, I also write how much time do I need to complete that activity. And once I do that activity, I actually kind of map either on this kind of a matrix of urgency versus importance on a sheet of a paper or in my mind itself. So the idea is that imagine this y-axis being urgency and this x-axis being importance. So if this part y-axis is high on importance and high on urgency, which is this quadrant, we usually tend to kind of focus only on those activities which are important as well as urgent. But here is a creative thing, guys. Or more often than not, the activities which are not urgent and are important are actually the ones we should invest time. The activities which are usually urgent as well as important, though for us sound like we should be doing it, but more often than not, if you think harder, you can delegate such activities, or you might come up with a quicker way of doing those activities rather than compromising on the activities which are not urgent and high on importance. These not urgent and high on importance activities are like learning a new skill, is like doing a course. Nobody would kind of try to ask you, Pranav, have you done that course? Or Pranav, have you learned the skill that you wanted to? So that way, those activities sound like not urgent for you, but you yourself take a call that it is important for my career, it is important for my life, and hence you should invest on those. So very simple exercise. Again, not urgent, not important, no point investing time on it. You better delegate it to someone else for who it might be important. Right? So that's a very simple matrix. So try doing that in case you are not doing it for your to-dos, and try to kind of tackle those chaos and untangle yourself. Now with that mini tool, let me introduce the next speaker on stage. And again, before introducing the speaker and calling out his problem, let me introduce the evaluator of the speech. So the next speech would be evaluated by Pooja Barik.
Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. Today, my target speaker is attempting his level 1, project 1. The purpose of this speech is to understand the basic structure of the speech and to introduce himself to the club. Timer, please note, the speech will be 4 to 6 minutes. And with that, all the best to my target speaker. Thank you.
Progressing to the next speech, folks. This speech is going to deliver by an interesting person who has a very, very interesting story untangling his problems. And when I asked the similar question to him, he instead gave me a reply with a song. पापा कहते हैं बड़ा नाम करे, बेटा हमारा ऐसा काम करे. So with that, let me introduce the next target speaker, Dharmendra N. Siksha, I studied, so no one behind me stays uneducated. Dharmendra N. Dharmendra N. Shiksha, I studied, so no one behind me stays uneducated. All the best. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, Toastmasters. So this is the first time I'm going to talk about myself. Actually, I don't know how to make a story. So when I first got to know that I have to speak about myself, Adi said, yeah, it's ice breaking, so no topic. You have to speak about yourself, so you will able to get to know you better. Now, I that day I got shocked, and I was thinking like, should I say about myself or not? Like how it should be portraying it. It will be very tough. So I haven't prepared much about the speeches because I want to keep it as real, as raw as I have experienced my life. So starting with this speech, like it's not a speech, it's my life. So how many of you have electricity in house? Electricity in house. Nice. So where I have born, there was no electricity. So I belong to a very humble family. My dad is a farmer. My mom is a farmer. So they're dreaming about getting to be in a good colleges or becoming an engineer. It's like mere hawks. Nobody thinks about that. Okay, a son, farming son from this background where it's a farming background will go to that college and that go to that place and will do blah, blah, blah. So it was a merely dream. Now, how many of you know your mother's birthday? I guess everyone knows, right? In India, if you know in Aadhaar card, who doesn't know their mother's date of birth, it will be 1st of Jan. So I know my mother's birthday with the 1st of Jan. Okay. My father's birthday, same 1st of Jan. Now I'm giving this context because you can go back, like you can visualize that place I belong to. Okay. Now, my mom got married at 14 years age. Sorry to say that, but in where she belongs, the society is like that. It's very mean to the girls. Okay. And still, when I speak about that, I want to become a Parshuram. Okay. Who beheaded 17 times the planet Earth. Okay. So it's not about her also, but getting to the point, I will start. I don't know how to start, but say, how many of you watch Shaktiman? I guess everyone. So I used to watch Shaktiman in someone else's houses. Television used to be Boost, BUSH. The brand got closed now. So I used to go and watch, and I was so much impacted that we had a second floor in a house. It's a mud house. I used to say Shaktiman, bachao mujhe, and I used to jump. There used to be glasses. There used to be glasses and legs. My legs completely broken. It's not true. Still is there. Okay. Now it was not enough. Okay. My legs got the plaster and this and that. Next time again, there was a mud house in my house. So there was a stray. We do the paddy seed farming. Okay. So that is called a stray. When you cut the paddy, the remaining stray you gives to the cow and all. Full of houses. In corner, I sat. The door opens like this. I went to like this and went to the corner. I burned the matchbox, and I said, Shaktiman bachao. Share. When the whole rooms was got burned up, thankfully my dad and whole village, they came to save. So they pour waters and all, and then somehow I was safe. Okay, but still that house is black right now. So I was not enough. Again, second time it happened with the Shaktiman thing. Okay, again I jumped with this by saying Shaktiman bachao, but not in the glass. It was like house was in roadside. So again my legs broke. This time it broke so badly that I had to put a iron rod here. Okay, it is still here, but fine. Now, sorry man, I haven't started my speech yet. It's just the beginning. Okay, my dad sent me. My dad sent me at the age of 10 when I was in 5th class to a Gurukul. You know Gurukul? What is Gurukul? Gurukul, where kids study with moral values. It was JSC board where moral values and all. So we used to teach, like even when I went to that school, I'll talk about those schools in detail, but it will take so much time. But the school is to teach us. There is to be tree, big mango tree, and behind that is to be sitting places, and there is to teach us moral values. What should be good? People, you should be always stay away from people who don't smile. Okay, they are very dangerous. People who laugh, who get angry, they are good. They will immediately, instantly react and fine. But who don't smile, they are very dangerous people. Stay away from them. Still, I remember, and I still follow this part of it. Now, in that school, there was no washroom. Okay, we used to go pond. If you need like second number or something, you have to go pond. So, and to wash clothes, I have to go to the pond also. So there is to be bed sheet like in a week. We used to or 15 days. The first time at the age of 10, I took a bed sheet and my clothes to the bucket and went to the pond. Okay, and when I washed the clothes, I don't know the physics that it gets so much heavier. Okay, once I washed the cloth at the age of 10, the bucket became so heavy that I was not able to carry back to my room. Okay, and it's almost the hostel to the pond is to be 500 meters. So I used to walk like this, and somehow I reached, and then okay, that was the experience I am telling. So I started my journey from that Gurukul. Name is Swami Vivekanand Chhatravas. Now fast forward to class 10th, I have completed, and then there also kerosene tel. You know what is kerosene tel? What is how many know a lamp? So in my hostel, every evening after prayer, they used to give one palli. Palli is a form of measurement where you measure the oil and then uh, put it in a lamp and then burn it. So I used to study. I used to study till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. until that oil sort out. Now at this point, I was thinking when I will have electricity, I will study whole night. So that my only dream was that electricity in my house. Like so, fast forward in class 10, I went to the 11th and 12th, and then I studied there. There used to be electricity, but for few days, I studied a lot, very hard. But After a few days, that energy was not there. That dream I had becoming electricity, I will study that somehow because of the friendship, it affects you, believe me or not. Even I was from Gurukul, I was affected by that. Okay, fast forward, like after 12th, engineering, I cracked, there was an exam. I used to go to newspaper houses and I used to study. So I found there is a Stafford University in UK in Lancelot, London. The university was located. So I told my dad, like, this is the thing I wanted to do. So can I? Okay, okay. I given an NIT exam. I cleared with a 70% scholarship. So at that time, 2010, I moved back to my first college at UK in Lancelot. So Heathrow, mostly people who travel to UK, they take a Heathrow LHR because it's the cheapest flight we get. And from there, my university was 1.5 hours. For that, like that day, I don't know, can I take sometimes because this is important if I say. Okay. Okay, but okay. Okay, some other day I'll speak about this because this is very, very long stories. Okay. And I haven't started with the education. Siksha is so small word, but how it helped me a lot. My family, I guess some other day I'll speak, but thank you so much. This is me, Dharmendra Kumar. Next time I'll resume my speech from here. It is very important to me. And as you said, we are family, you should know about me. So thank you so much. Great speech. Thank you.
What a nostalgic moment about recollecting Shaktiman. When I used to watch it, I used to do like this. But I used to realize why I'm not flying. So with that, let's move in the interest of the time to the next speech. And then we will do a fun activity post our tea break. How does that sound to everyone? So before calling the next speaker, let me call the evaluator for the next speaker, who is Twinshu Parmar.
Good evening, lovely bright hearts and dear guests. How many of you think this is AI era going on? How many of your home screen has an AI app? AI in the home screen of your mobile app. Yeah. So whenever I feel I am tangled, I'm in my life is going messy or chaos, or where I go, the chat GPT, I write everything, and now in temporary mode so that it doesn't even see, remember what messy I was, how messy I was. Today, I got a privilege to evaluate one of the speaker, the memorable speech of the Toastmasters life, or maybe say Toastmasters journey, that is icebreaker speech. And I say all the best to my target speaker, Ravi. And timer, please note the time of this speech is 4 to 6 minutes. And all the best to the target speaker. Thank you. Back to Timur.
When I asked my target speaker, describe a similar situation, when did he feel tangled in his life? And he had again a very interesting story attached to Google Maps, what we usually use wherever we navigate in Bangalore, outside Bangalore, anywhere. So the story was, he was attending a wedding party at 8 p.m. and then he used to come back to his hostel. And as everyone does, he put the hostel address on the Google Map. What Google Map does next is super interesting. So Google Map suggested to him to take a wrong left turn. And when did he take that wrong left turn? It actually circled or gave a quick detour of the entire hill besides his college hostel. It was 8 p.m. in the night. By the time he eventually arrived at a location where he was actually able to see his hostel building was 2 a.m. And after that, he was surprised how to get inside. So all that he did was he climbed on the wall and he trespassed into his own hostel in his room. So that was an interesting story. So with that, let me call the next speaker for the day, Ravi Kant. Lessons finally chose to learn. Ravi Kant. Ravi Kant, lessons finally chose to learn. All the best.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I was born on Teachers' Day to two teachers. You'd think I was destined to be great on stage, right? No. In fact, I turned out to be the person who would run away from both the stages and the teachers. Good evening, everyone. This is Ravikant, and today I'll be sharing the most important lessons which I ignored in my life, but finally decided to learn them at any cost. After that coincidental birth on 5th September 1999, I was raised in Vizianagaram, one of the towns of Andhra Pradesh, along with my sister, who is a chartered accountant. But to be very frank, she never gave me any kind of financial suggestions till now. Most probably because I used to pick a reason to fight with her during my childhood, from mango slice to ludo dice. It can be any reason. And after that, see, the thing is, I always used to be the dominant rebellious kid inside the home. So I was the one who is dominating my sister all the time. But outside, I used to fake my obedience and decency. And that fake obedience and decency really helped me to impress my teachers. And so it also made the teachers to give me roles like classroom leader, sports club captain. The funniest part is even the English club captain. But to be very frank, I was average at all these three. And this pattern of being average continued even during my college also. I actually did civil engineering from my IIT Bhubaneswar. See, in India, it is very common for engineers to pick up a profession which is completely relevant to the degree, right? Even I followed the same path. I'm currently working as a software developer at EXL for the last 2.5 years. See, the irony is I was trained to design dams and bridges throughout my entire college. But now I'm building softwares right from my bedroom. And my bedroom was my office ever since I joined the EXL. And after now, I shifted both myself and the bedroom to Bangalore recently, basically to explore. And I love exploring places. And on top of that, I mean, after coming to Bangalore, I already started exploring the Bangalore. And on top of exploring the new places, I also love to read new novels. But even though I love reading novels, I was stuck at Pride and Prejudice for the last 3 weeks, most probably because the tougher vocabulary. And life actually gave me many chances to learn and improve, but I chose to ignore it. So one of the occasions was back in my school, my favorite teacher nominated me for an English speaking competition. She believed in me a lot and she thought I would make her proud. But the night before the speech, I thought, see, I am the class leader. I can pull this very easily. How hard a 5-minute speech can be. So I just dodged the preparation and instead of preparing, I played the Subway Surfers all the night till 3 a.m. morning. So later that morning, I just downloaded the script from the internet and I crammed it. I thought I can pull it as easily as walking in the park. But after going onto the stage, I realized things started becoming upside down. My legs were shaking, my heart was racing, my brain was not braining, and I completely forgot about the script. I couldn't even recall a single line from my script. So unintentionally, I just picked the script paper from my back pocket and I started reading the script from the paper like a robot in front of 200 guests. Everyone laughed. Like imagine 200 guests just laughing at you on the face. And this happened back in my 8th class or 9th class. And my teacher was very upset. She was very angry and she said I insulted her by not giving enough preparation to the speech. And she didn't even speak me for the next 1 or 2 months. And that's the moment from when I started hating the teachers. I started disliking them and started maintaining distance from them. But to be very frank, even I flopped the show, like flopped my speech, I really didn't bother at all. I just thought, see, these things happens in everyone's life. So why to bother too much? So let's be chill. I moved on without no proper resolution, no shame, nothing. And this pattern of taking things very lightly continued even during my college also. Not just college, throughout my entire life. And there is a famous quote, those who forget the past are condemned to repeat it at any cost. So I repeated the mistake multiple times in my life. every time life gives me a responsibility, be it a team presentation, a club event, or a stage, the thought was same, always manage it at the end. But so because of because of that thought process, I used to dodge the preparation, distract myself, and hope for magic. But that magic never happened. So, and that magic never happened. So then result was always same: distract on the stage, panic myself, and then be blank and finally flop the show. So now I'm like, but the most important thing is I always repeat the same pattern, like taking things lightly without no resolution or no shame. So even after like 25 years since 26 years since I born, now I'm very bored of this pattern. Like I'm really not getting any proper improvements in my communication skills. So I finally decided to change the pattern and started pushing my boundary for the last few months. The thing is, I can start things on my own, but consistency is the part where I fail consistently. So I have moved to Bangalore recently, hoping for a fresh restart, and I joined Toastmasters so that I can get the constant push and constant support, where I don't hit the snooze button ever again on my growth. So that night back in my school before the speech, I chose Subway Surfers over my preparation. But today, I'm choosing stage over my comfort. Thank you so much. Back to the team.
Consistently falling or for the consistency. Wow. What a great line. And let me tell you, even I do that, but I never realized it until I heard from you. So with that, folks, we are done with the 5 speeches for the day. Before we break for tea, I would invite you to give your votes for the speeches, and the link is in front of you. bit.ly/bhtm vote 1. There are Wi-Fi passwords. Folks who don't have a very active internet connection can use the Wi-Fi. The password is Mushroom. Airtel Mushroom Studio is the Wi-Fi name, and in the password is the M capital. Everything small. Mushroom. Then I have a time. I have time until 6:15 to close it, right? Okay, fine. 20 minutes will always be one. By how many response do we need to ask them to go for the break? Once we have 15, shall I ask them to break? Ah. Everything small on it. We have 6 responses so far. We will break once we have around 15. How many responses? Diksha, how many responses? Three more to go, right? Okay. 13 responses have been received, 2 more to go before we break for the tea. I think, is it 15 now? Diksha, is it 15 now? Is it 15 now? Okay, folks, I think we have 15 now, but people who are still voting, please continue to do so. Refreshments are here. Chai is free of cost, but in case you would like to have any eatables, those are actually on a chargeable basis. Okay, folks, we'll start. What an amazing lineup of speakers we had. Now, before starting the evaluation sections, we will do a very quick activity, which will be again a fun activity, like how you did in the past. And for that, let me first introduce that technique to you, which I would like you to implement in this activity. Can I have the projector? Can you progress the slide? So the technique is super simple, folks. It's called as mind maps. Mind maps, people would have heard already. Go next. It's super fun while you draw a mind map. And let me first talk about what is actually a mind map, right? So what you do in the mind map is you create a circle in the center of a sheet, which is actually the main idea or the problem you are trying to solve. That's the main idea. You then branch it out with small themes around what are the solutions that come to your mind. You thematize the solutions or classify the solutions into smaller circles. And again, through those smaller circles, build again few branches. And eventually you arrive at a lot of branches or leaves. And then you put the logical Larry thinking into it and then prioritize which one would you implement. So that's super simple. So it kind of ends up a big tree with growing more ideas. For this activity, we'll keep it super simple. We will maybe branch it to maximum 3 branches. And I'll tell you how should you do about it. Go next. So this technique was actually invented by a person called Tony Buzan. And there is an interesting story. How did he come up with this mind map? So this person actually had a problem of memory. He didn't used to memorize things. And while teachers were explaining concepts and students were writing all of those, he actually was struggling a lot. And that's when he thought, hey, if that's how not my brain is working, let me first understand how does a human brain work. And to his surprise, he found that human brain has got many neurons, right? And every cells, every neurons, every network. It kind of looks like a mind map where you have several neurons emanating from every branches. Then he figured out, okay, if that's how the mind works, how the hell are we writing things on our paper or sheet and trying to memorize? Why not we mind map our own things, our own activities, our own problems that we are trying to solve, and maybe let the problem solve on its own. So with that, this technique got invented. It's a pretty old technique discovered in 1970s. Today, it's used by lot of companies. The 250 million thing I have put here is like so many people are using it, including the CEOs, the Tesla founder, Elon Musk, Bill Gates. Everyone has used it and found the power of this technique. Now with that, let's go to the next slide. Here I'm going to talk an example. So imagine yourself as a kid and you are planning to kind of plan for your upcoming weekend. Now, as a kid, you have a lot of ideas that you would like to invest on your weekend. And among those, there are sub themes like you would like to invest time with your friends, have some interesting food, actually do your boring homework as well. Everyone has to do that. You want to help your mom. So that's what this kid has drawn as branches of this mind map. And then there are branches emanating from each of these so-called nodes, right? And which is when it kind of eventualize into a solution. So for friends, he list out that I need to call Ria, I need to visit Aman. For boring homework, he lists down that I need to do maths homework as well as English project. And by the way, once I do that, I'll get an ice cream from my mom. So that's how the typical brain works. And then after figuring out all those things he needs to do, he applies his logical thinking, prioritize what his weekend plan would look like. Right? So that's how the mind map works. to the next slide. So now let's do a very quick fun activity. I have a few sheets of paper where you will see that center bubble already printed. All you need to do is just kind of list down some of the branches. So can someone help me out with distributing these sheets? There are a few more actually. Next slide. Again, next slide. And as our creative mind thinks colors, I have some colors as well for you. Pragya, can you pass the sketch pens as well? Next slide. Pragya, next. So how to draw your first mind map, I have already described, folks. The big bubble is already on your sheet. The fat branches you can see on your sheet, and then the mini branches part. We will take until here. So all you need to do is create a fat branch and a mini branch, right? Maybe tiny doodles, step back, applying a logical thinking and prioritizing we can park for later. You can do offline as well. So with that, the next slide. Now you would have received on your sheet, you would have seen a problem statement. There are broadly 3 problems. First problem is the secret agent. How do I hide my report card from my dad without letting my sister blackmail me? That's the first problem you have. The second problem is how do I survive a wedding I didn't want to attend and sneak by 9 p.m. without noticing, getting noticed. And the third problem is how do I plan the perfect proposal for my girlfriend, boyfriend, or my crush, right? So you already know the technique. All I want to do is very simple. Just branch the fat branch from that bigger circle. And I'll give you 10 seconds to do that. We are running a little short on time. And after that, I will ask what all things have you drawn. And people who get time maybe can progress towards drawing the next set of branches as well. But I would like to maybe keep it for 10 seconds. Okay, folks, 10 seconds are up. In case you have got a chance to maybe branch out anything, I would volunteer, I would ask for any volunteer to call out the branch that they drew. Go ahead, Maria. You are automatically divided into 3 groups because
So I put in blackmail, pressure, emotion, stage, and smell. So those were the 4 tactics, 5 tactics.
Amazing.
And preferred method would be blackmail.
Wonderful.
I didn't get a chance to brush it down, but Sayud was for my blackmail method.
No, I knew you would do that.
So that was
Wow, that's great, Maria. So no, not only did you branch it out, but you also prioritize which one would you like to implement. So you applied your left brain already. Amazing. So I have few chocolates also to distribute, by the way. Anyone else would like to volunteer? We will go ahead, Shankar.
So I got how do I attend a wedding? I didn't want to attend and leave by 9 p.m. So I did only one big branch and 3 of those smaller ones. So in that I said fake illness. So bring it up early, saying that you're not keeping well. Maybe start coughing was one. talk with your nose closed so that it sounds like it's going to this as well. So that's what I.
Wonderful. You have applied your creative thinking already. Great, Shankar. Folks, we are running short on time. Maybe, go ahead, Arna. You want to take a chocolate will come only when you answer. So what we will do, guys, is we will enter to the evaluation segment. Once the speeches are evaluated, if time permits, I'll ask you to again share your answers. How does that sound? Okay, cool. So with that, moving on to the evaluation section. So the first, So to evaluate our first speaker, Pragya K, her speech Back to My First Love, we have a very interesting evaluator. He has already introduced about himself and how did he untangle the situation by reading books. So he needs no further introduction. Let me call Saumil Ji to evaluate Pragya K.
G. It's Gupta. Uh, where is the? I'm trying to find. I can't read my handwriting actually. Okay. So good evening, everyone. My target speaker was Pragya. And Pragya, you mentioned that your second love was maths. And I'm jealous of you because I hated maths. And I tried to love her, but it was like one-sided love. It never loved me back. Okay. But I would like to highlight few points. Your speech was fantastic. It was so good. You had a proper structure. You talked about your going back to your first love. You had a good opening. You talked about you had a very good opening. You had a very humorous opening. In the beginning, you talked how you were born in a family without your consent, which really hooked the audience in the first go, right? Then you talked about how you found your second love, which was maths. Then you talked about how you found your third love, which was your husband, right? And which gave a proper structure to your story, right? You had a good beginning, you had a good middle part, and a good ending, and you concluded it really well, which really worked in your story. A few areas of improvement, which I feel that which can take your speech to a next level, is that you had stage movements, but I feel that you could define those stage movements, right? For example, when you were talking about your first love, you could have just stood here in the center. You could have talked about your first love, how your first love was being on the stage. While talking about the second love, you could have come here, right? Talking about maths. And while talking about the third love, you could have gone here. And when you were concluding, because your conclusion came around where you talked about your first love again, that you are in bright hearts and you are doing what you really loved, you could have come the center and concluded your story, right? Second thing I feel is that you could have really worked on your vocal variety. There were areas where I felt your speech went little bit monotone. For example, you said, "One incredible man, Nikunj, who is my husband." It was flat, right? You could have said that, "I found my third love of life, one incredible man, Nikunj. And eventually we got married." See, that creates the emphasis, right? Overall, I think you did a great job as your first speech. And obviously with practice, you can improve a lot. In conclusion, you had a very good story. You had a good setup. You had a good beginning. It was very humorous. And you had a very good conclusion, so which actually matched the title of your story. And moreover, in the areas of improvement, working on the stage movements, setting up the right positions where you can move, and working on your vocal variety, emphasizing on the key points would take your speech to a next level. Thank you.
What a great evaluation, Saumil. Now with that, let's call the next evaluator for our second speaker for the day. And this person has already shared her story about how did she manage tangles in her life, and how she likes numbers and eventually landed onto a financial services career. So she needs again no further introduction. So with that, let me call Jurmeen to evaluate the next speech.
Good evening, Toastmaster again, and my target speaker, Samil. So it's my pleasure to evaluate you today on your icebreaker. So as the main purpose of the icebreaker is to introduce yourself to the club and why you joined Toastmaster. So I think your objective is met, and we got a clear glimpse of your childhood and your passion towards computer, and why it became a defining factor to choose your career as a computer engineer. And and your dialogue deliveries with enactment was very open body language. You have enacted like jumping with joy when you said not only my excitement hit the roof, but also my head. And good uses of phrases and metaphors like the magic in the rabbit hole. And another phrase you have used is like you want to be a big part of a small company rather than being a small part of a big one. So, and also you have humor spilled across your speech. So the main highlights I would say is like opening, for me, the main highlights was like opening with a question which caught the audience attention immediately. So you have, and the second one will be the humor. You have humor spilled across your speech. You are very confident, your body gesture and movements and your enactment, your overall was very good. You have a naturally very good voice, and which shows the high energy. So a small session would be, you started with a very high energy, with lots of enactments and open gestures. But towards the mid, I felt that you were maintaining some close hand movement. So to make it even more impactful, so if you could have kept it throughout the open gesture, you would be a more impactful speaker. So overall, you had a very good opening, well structured. Your voice clarity was very good. You were very confident in stage for a first time. And I would say just that small bit is like maintain an open just hand gesture. And overall, it was a really good speech. And it was, I really enjoyed listening to you. So all the best for your future speeches. Thank you.
Great evaluation, Jumin. To evaluate the next speaker, Shashank, who delivered his speech on patience, practice, and progress, we have Sangam. When I asked Sangam, when did the last time he faced a chaos, he shared an anecdote that last time when he planned for a bike trip, he eventually applied his left brain and listed out every activity. Should I stop for tea? Where should I stop for lunch? And eventually he figured out that it's not going to work. And then eventually he decided, let me sit on the bike, start driving, and let the highway figure out the rest. So with that, introducing Sangam for evaluating our next speaker.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear target speaker, Shashank. So first of all, congratulations on your icebreaker speech. First, I am really impressed by your zeal of coming to Bright Hearts and joining a community and focusing towards self-improvement. So by looking at your speech, it already is clear to us that you are already like a seasoned speaker. So also it is one of the best icebreaker speeches I have heard. So I'll go with the what went best and the areas of improvement. So first of all, the objective of the speech is to write a speech with structure and introduce yourself to the audience. And from this speech, we know who Shashank is and how his life was. And you had a proper structure. So you started with telling your name, which means moon. Then you utilize the theme Tangled and explained how entangled were your life between your mother and father, choosing between fast study and sports. After that, you took us to the rebellious phase of your life of stealing mangoes that added a fun element to it. And you went on to engineering, how related with the Three Idiots, and told about your college life, the places you have been, Jaisalmer, Camel Ride, and everything. At the end, you told about your professional journey and concluded about the title of your speech, efforts, habit, and progress. Coming to the areas of improvement, I really struggled to find some. But I have some few points for you. First, whenever you're, as this is an English platform, so whenever you're telling something, like you use the phrase from Three Idiots, ladka hua to engineer, ladki hui to doctor. You could have translated it to English. One another area of improvement, you had a tendency to use you used it multiple times. And last, these are just nitpicks. I really worked towards it. Your title of the story was Effort, Habits, and Progress. So at the end of the speech, it is a very small part of the speech. If you could relate from the start to end, what efforts you had put in, we really like to know. So in next speeches, you can introduce them. So overall, you have successfully met the objective of the speech, and you had a clear body introduction and conclusion. You had clear body language and vocal variety and tone of telling. So thank you.
Going to the next evaluation, to evaluate Dharmen's speech on the topic Siksha, I studied, so no one behind me stays uneducated. We have an evaluator, Pooja. But before calling Pooja, let me talk about her interesting story. Last time, when she was groom hunting, uh, so it felt like a marathon to her. She started interviewing her friends, her non-friends, about some of the people who she was considering. And eventually, she also interviewed, or rather asked about the enemies of hers and thought whether they have improved by now. Eventually, she figured out someone from Bharat Matrimony, and now she is living a great life. So, over to Pooja.
Good evening once again, Toastmasters and guests. And a special good evening to my target speaker, Dharmendra. What a start, Toastmaster Dharmendra. From Gurukul, where there was no electricity, to cracking NIT with 70% scholarship in higher education. Commendable. But let me ask you first, the first attempt to being Shaktiman and getting yourself injured was not satisfactory enough that you had to attempt a few more times until a rod was fixed in your leg? Well, as an evaluator, I have 3 highlights for you and 3 areas of improvisation. Let me start with the highlights and what I liked in your speech. You had great audience engagement. For example, how many of you, when you ask question to the audience, how many of you had no electricity while you were a child, while you were growing up? How many of you watched Shaktiman? So all of these questions were under the audience engagement. Another point was eye contact. You had a steady eye contact with the audience. And you were very confident on the speech, especially you are very good with impromptu speaking. Now coming to the areas of improvisation. To match your external confidence to your internal confidence, I have two specific suggestions. The first, free your hands. Keeping them in your pocket restricts your storytelling. Another point, structure of your speech. A icebreaker speech is usually introduction to the audience, to the club. But your speech was lengthy enough, so we only got a glimpse of your childhood, but there were more to tell. So I would suggest you to improvise on your structure and then maintain a time. Since it was an icebreaker speech, you had 4 to 6 minutes and you had to structure it within the time. Now, to conclude, you had great audience engagement, you had confidence, and there was a good steady eye contact with the audience. I would suggest you to repeat this speech and talk to the Vice President Education so that you could tell us about yourself to the club and we get to know you better. With that, all the best for your next speech. Thank you.
To evaluate our next speaker's speech, Ravi Kant, who delivered his speech on lessons finally chose to learn, we have Twinshu. And Twinshu has already introduced that he has started using ChatGPT to solve his problems. So last time he was trying to crack a walnut and that he ChatGPT, and the answers he got were 4 ways of cracking a walnut. So for everything, every single thing, he has 4 ways of doing so. With that, handing over to Twinshu.
Good evening, bright hearts and dear guests. I thought today was a good day because I am going to attend one of the marathon which on today because of I missed one. I mean, there were 2 marathons today, but I am going to attend one of them. But now it is going great because I heard 5 of the icebreaker speeches from our club and got to understand and know about our new members. When I heard Ravi's speech, the 4 words that come to my mind was fen, tab, you, lus. Now you have noticed my English and math is not my strong points. So I'll get back to the strong points of Ravi's speech. Ravi, a very thoughtfully written your own story of life. I loved how you started when you have bought in this world and how you reached to this stage here. With the contrast you have mentioned in the content, with the bedroom is now your office, and you are mischievous in home, but very different, obedient in outside, like you are acting like a very decent guy. The second point was humor, which was your sister is CA, but she didn't help me yet in finances. The third is open body language. Most of the time, your hands were like this and this. So when you said chill, I still remember your hands were like this. So you were able to interact and understand the audiences, and it was the kudos for you for that. I have only one suggestion for you, and that is speak in slow pace, because one of the instances, even I was sitting here, but not able to understand what you mentioned, what you were about to mention when you said this line, snooze button on over. So there were some words that you spoke, but I'm not able to understand what you actually wanted to convey from there. So if you speak slowly, your impact and it will let audience to absorb what you say. And to suggest a thing that you can do to improve this is you can practice this speech again in the front of the mirror with 80% of the lower pace, and do it multiple times till you get satisfied with your speaking pace. To summarize, You had a very thoughtful written content that we all loved it. And we couldn't expect more better from this icebreaker speech, the humor and the open body language. I would suggest you to speak a bit slow and make the speech more impactful. So I'm excited to see you in the next speech and more excited to see you as a pro storyteller. Thank you, and back to Timon.
What 5 fantastic evaluations we have heard so far. Now, all of these evaluations were perfectly timed, not just the evaluations, but also the speeches. So to hear the timing of each and every speech, let me ask Shankar to walk on the stage and give his timer's report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. So let's see how our novice and the veteran crew did on their adventure. So for the icebreakers, we have Pragya at 5 minutes and 57 seconds, Shamil at 5 minutes and 54 seconds, Shashank at 6 minutes and 15 seconds, and Dharmendra at 8 minutes. Ravi at 5 minutes and 59 seconds. For the evaluators, we have Shomil at 3 minutes and 1 second, Jurmin at 2 minutes and 19 seconds, Sangam at 3 minutes and 15 seconds, Pooja with 2 minutes and 43 seconds, and Twinshu with 3 minutes and 17 seconds. So well done to everyone. It seems like most of you all followed the clues and the map and reached your destinations on time. A few may have taken the scenic route. That's not a problem. Columbus also got lost. So thank you all.
So with those evaluations done, let's also hear from all of you. How did you like each and every section? So please feel free to vote on this particular URL, bit.ly/bhtmvote2 for your best evaluator.
Requesting all the guests to please fill out the form.
Words to wrap the meeting. Right? Okay. So we have a couple of responses already by now. Folks who are still voting can continue to do so. And with that, I'm going to wrap the meeting and would invite the president. But before that, 2 words. Can you quickly reflect what all things we did today? We walked into the room tangled. We learned few techniques to untangle those. We learned about how our brain has 2 departments. We learned about how does the urgency and the importance matrix work. And we also mind mapped a problem from scratch. And people came up with so creative ideas about hiding a mango in a refrigerator. Wow. So here is my 2 takeaways before we leave the room and after concluding this meeting. Pause before you react to any situation. Map the messy idea. The messy idea, when it's on paper with a full mind map, becomes lot more easier to solve. And then after doing all of that, ask better questions and then apply your logical brain to solve that and implement that solution. With that, let me hand over to the president, Mani.
Thank you all so much for that loud cheer. Thank you so much to our team or the Toastmaster of the day who engaged us throughout the meeting to untangle our daily situations. I hope we all got the usage and making these techniques get into your practice of urgency versus importance and even converting and making our daily life into easiness. Let's hear it out for our Toastmaster of the day. So moving to our next segment. How many of you loved today's icebreaker speeches? Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much. I really also felt these are not just icebreaker. These are almost an ice smashers speeches and best wishes to all the speakers who started your Toastmasters journey. I'm sure we are going to share many more memorable speeches going forward. And also the beautiful evaluations which we have seen today in terms of helping our icebreaker speeches, what went well, what are the areas they can look into. I would love now share a quick announcements for the next meetings, which are very important for all the members as well as maybe a small note to all the guests as well. At the start, as I mentioned about the Crescendo, which is District 121 Conference as a Toastmasters event, which is going to happen during the time period of May 8, 9, and 10th. So because of that event, we will not be having any meeting on May 10th. All good. So anyone who wants to join our conference, you are most welcome, and it is going to happen at Kochi, and all the executive committee officers are ready to help you with that. As we move forward, for the benefit of all the members and an important announcements from our Vice President Education, we are all having a beautiful Toastmasters portal, which we call it as Education Pathways. We request all the members to go and click and submit your pathways, which will help our Vice President Education team to serve you better, to understand your progress of your pathways. Anytime, any help you require, our Vice President Education team is always up for it. So moving forward, to make sure that there is a team which is behind the screens to give you the best of the best meeting. That we call it as part of our club and executive committee members. I'm having the privilege to request all the vice officers who are there in this particular room. I request you to stand over wherever you are sitting. First and foremost, the Vice President Education team, that is Toastmaster Sayed, Toastmaster Aditya. The Vice President Membership team, Toastmaster Priyansh, Toastmaster Pooja. The Vice President Public Relations team, Toastmaster Twinshu and Toastmaster Jurman. And our secretary team, Toastmaster Sangam. Sergeant at Arms team, we have our Toastmaster Dipsha and Toastmaster Sonal. So I would like to share about all these people in front of all the members and the guests, that these are the officers who are taking their additional time from their daytime or all the corporate working professionals to make and give the best meeting to all the members and the guests. Can I hear a loud cheer to all the officers? May I request everyone to take your seats. So before we enter to the results of the meeting, may I request some of the guests to come on stage and share your experience, what you loved in this, in our meeting. Anyone who wants to volunteer, the stage is yours. Yes. Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Aditi. I came a little late, so I don't know if there was some initial intro done. To give a little bit brief, I am an ex-Toastmasters member. I was part of HSR Toastmasters Club. And one of the founding members of this club, Akshay, he was my mentor for quite some time. I had to leave the club in between to pursue my higher studies, but I've really missed seeing Akshay speak on the stage, and I've always like dreamed to speak like him someday. And he very humbly says that, you know, I've been practicing a lot. That's why I'm here, Aditi. So yeah, today I was hoping that, okay, I'll probably again go back to Toastmasters and really see what's out there. And I got to tell you, I remembered why I joined it in the very first place, because I remember I love hearing people's stories, and it gives me a different perspective. It tells you that day to day when you're working on your own, how so many challenges you take for granted. For example, the numbers issue that somebody had, the person who could not take lessons from Shaktiman for some reason kept, I mean, so many things, right? And I think that's my biggest learning from today. I don't know how good of a speaker I am yet, based from where I started, but I'm looking forward to restarting my journey. And yeah, thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aditi, for sharing that. And Akshay is going to be there at Kochi Crescendo. Looking forward for everyone to join. Yes. So any other guest who wants to come on stage and share? Yes, sir, please.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Harshad. I am very new to Toastmaster. I have recently Googled it. So it's my first Toastmaster meeting. It was good. And I have recently moved to Bangalore. So currently I'm working in as a data scientist. And yeah, it really feels like the energy and the aura you have created here is quite amazing. And yeah, glad to meet few folks more also next time.
Thank you so much, and looking forward to have you with us every Sunday and pass on your energies too. So moving on to our winners of today's meeting, the meeting number 78, the best evaluator award goes to Toastmaster Twinshu. This man, Toastmaster Twinshu, whenever he comes on stage, he always tries to look what to give better, what to give next, each and every time. So I know him better, what all the backstage effort he put it. And when you're there coming and delivering on stage, I'm sure all your areas of improvements and suggestions, feedbacks will help the speaker to take to next level. Thank you and congratulations. So moving on to our best speaker of the day, which is Toastmaster Pragya. Yes, Toastmaster Pragya, whether a lot of things happened without your consents, without your permission, but I am sure from now, this journey, which is going to happen with all your consent and making sure all the positive energies comes onto your way. Thank you and congratulations for this award. We'll have a small picture. Okay. Yes, I'm sure today's tangled towards untangling of many new things in our life. I wish all the logic and the lessons we learned today will help us in our regular lives. With that being said, I would like to call this meeting number 78 as closed. Let's all assemble for a group picture.